So I went on to ListSource the other day to go purchase a list so that way I could skip trace it and send it off to my cold callers to go call it, just like the normal everyday process that we do for direct mail, cold calling, whatever it may be. And it turns out that I can't pull the list anymore inside of my state. Hey, what is going on, everyone? Devin Knupp here with another video, and I wanted to talk about a problem that I literally couldn't find any answers on the internet for this change inside of ListSource. And basically they have made it so that way 4 states inside of the US you can't pull the list for anymore when you could like a month ago. And then now all of a sudden it turns out there's 4 different states that you can't pull this from. I looked everywhere to figure out why this change all of a sudden happened, see if anybody's been complaining about it, anything like that. And this literally just found out about this like a couple of days ago. So I looked on like everywhere on Google, looked in different Facebook groups, I looked on YouTube, everywhere, and I could not find anything about this change. So the company that runs ListSource, it is CoreLogic. And literally, here, I'll show you guys a screenshot of what I am talking about. So when you go to pull a list, you go to type in the criteria, you go on the geography tab to do your like county, state, city, whatever it may be, zip code. And right at the top, it says this right here. So like it says, hey, search any of the following. And then at the bottom, it says excluded states, Montana, South Carolina, Idaho, and Kansas. And for those of you that have been following me, know that I live in the state of Idaho, and I wholesale in the state of Idaho. And so this kind of pisses me off, but I'm not able to pull this off of ListSource anymore. And so when you click on the little blue thing, the little link, it pops up with this little pop-up, and it basically just shows you this like this code. And I typed it into Google, see what was going on with the code, and this is actually a South Carolina code. I don't know why it's showing me South Carolina, but it's basically saying a person or a private entity shall not knowingly obtain or use personal information obtained from a state agency, a local government, or other political subdivision of the state for commercial solicitation directed to any person in the state. And I looked at when this thing was written, because I found the link, I found the code and everything on this little write-up and everything. And this happened in 2008 when they wrote this. It's not like it happened just like overnight or anything like that this year, not even remotely close. This was 14 years ago when this came up. So I looked in every other state, like I looked in the state of Idaho, and there was kind of like the same kind of thing. It was like a different code, but it kind of went over the same kind of basic principles. And that one was written in 2014. None of these are anywhere remotely to what's going on today. Like it's not even like these are new codes or anything like that. It's just all of a sudden popped up. And so all I have to run with are different like assumptions and kind of just, this is really all I have to work with. I tried calling the ListSource customer support or CallLogic, I think it's called. And I called them up. I tried calling them up and it got me straight to voicemail. So I wasn't able to get to talk to customer support about it. But this literally happened overnight. And so I don't know if this is going to happen in more states or what's going to happen. And this might actually happen in your state. You may see in the next couple of months. I really have no idea. There's literally nothing out there covering what this problem is and how they're going to fix it, whatnot, anything like that. And so obviously you can still pull lists, just not from listsource.com. So my assumption as to why this happened is that a lot of like commercial people that were soliciting a lot of these phone numbers. Basically, I feel like ListSource got a few reports and a lot of complaints from these different people, states, or anything like that. And people were pointing out ListSource or whatever as the sole problem. And then from there, they basically just said, hey, nobody can pull lists off of us anymore. And so I wouldn't necessarily say cold calling for real estate investing or real estate wholesaling is solicitation, because all you're doing is just asking if they want to sell your house, and you're on an investor aspect and just ask. You're not trying to sell anything to them. You're just literally just asking them if they are considering selling their house and you want to buy it because you're interested in it. That's all just public data and out there. And I still don't have a problem if I go over to my county and ask them, hey, can I get a list? Like I just went in there, like I want to say like 4 weeks ago, 3 or 4 weeks ago, just got like a probates list. No problem whatsoever. They asked me what it was for, and I said, I'm a real estate investor. So they said, here you go. They gave it to me. They printed it off and everything and gave me all the files. And then they also said they had public computers that I can go on and get all the information, and I couldn't print it out, but I could just take pictures of the screen and whatnot. And literally, like, there's no problems whatsoever. Nothing changed. And so my assumption is, like I said, I think there's just a few complaints, and I don't know if this is going to happen in more states. I bet every state, or there's a decent amount of states where they have this kind of law set in place, and I feel like as complaints might start coming in, then you may not be able to pull lists anymore. So my recommendation is, if you are one of the states that's been effective, well, first of all, if you haven't been affected, just keep doing what you're doing with ListSource. And if you have no idea how to pull lists, maybe I'll make a video on it, whatnot. I can't do it in my state, obviously, anymore. But basically what you want to do, just keep pulling lists off of it. Just keep using it for the time being. But if you do get shut down like this inside of your state, you're excluded inside of your state from pulling lists from now on, then what I recommend is you can still get all of this information from the county. It's just, this is all basically automated. You don't have to go in and talk to people, and it's already all, you have all the addresses and everything in an Excel spreadsheet. But what you can do is just go in, ask for the tax delinquency list, ask for an equity list, all of that type of stuff, and you should be able to go in and get it. Just tell them that you're a real estate investor, and then basically, as long as they're convinced that you're not trying to solicitate or anything like that, then you should be fine. Also, there's other websites that I use to pull different lists and everything. One of them is called FMSN. I don't have a link to it or anything like that. It's called Find Motivated Sellers Now, and I may have a link down below on this video. I don't know yet. I couldn't find one. But basically, that's another site, and I don't have any problems whatsoever pulling a list off of that website. That one is like an annual fee, and I'm able to pull so many leads every month, and so it actually comes out to pretty cheap. But yeah, at the same time, like I really don't know what's going on with this. Nobody's talking about it. Nobody knows anything about this other than, like, I have a couple of students where I direct that we pull lists for them and everything in ListSource, and because we get a discount with them, and now we can't pull lists for certain students, and I can't pull them in my own state anymore. So if ListSource, if you're watching this, please fix it. And I don't know what to do from here. If any of you guys can find anything, drop it down in the comments down below. If I get any updates in the upcoming days and everything, if I get a hold of ListSource and kind of get it figured out what's going on, I'll make an update video on it. But as of right now, there's like nothing you can do about ListSource. You can't pull lists off of it. It's no longer convenient, which this kind of is a pro and a con at the same time. Obviously, it's not as convenient anymore. But at the same time, with it not being as convenient, if you're willing to put in the work to go in and talk to the county and get these lists and get stuff that other people aren't willing to do, then you're going to be a lot further ahead than other people, because you're actually going out there and putting in the work to go get the list and doing the stuff that other people aren't willing to do, even though it is not big of a process. But another thing is, those lists could start to become a little bit more oversaturated inside of your county because people can't get it off ListSource anymore. And so now they have to go in the county. And so more people will be targeting those lists that you are targeting yourself as well. So that's kind of my personal recommendation. Outside of ListSource, like I said, I don't see any problem. It's just really annoying and kind of pisses me off that literally there's like nothing, like I can't figure anything out. All these different codes, as far as like this little script or little piece that they pulled from the South Carolina code and whatnot, the new laws that were applied, are all like, the newest one I've seen is like 4 years old. So it's like, that's just what's insane to me, and it doesn't make any sense. So anyways, thank you all for watching today's video. If you're in any of the states affected, comment it down below. I'm kind of curious how many of my subscribers are actually affected of it right now. And then I'm curious to see what happens, to see if they're going to eliminate more and more states inside of there. So anyways, it's just like, I didn't see any other content out there about this, so I figured I'd make it for you guys, give you a little bit of an update if you are kind of wondering the same yourself and how you're going to be able to work with it and whatnot. So anyways, thank you guys all for watching today's video. If you haven't already, join the fam, join the game by hitting the subscribe button down below, and smash the like button as well. And like always, I'm uploading every day. So I will see you all tomorrow. Peace.